author. I've written for 3 different publications. I have a number of articles on black programs and secret projects for Jane's Defense Weekly, for Interavia, for Aviation Week Space Technology. I have 3 books right here that I have authored just on the F-117 alone. That is where I spend all my spare time, is digging. I've had my neighbors questioned. I've had my mail opened. I've had my phones tapped. I was called up for Desert Shield. I'm in the Air National Guard. They held up my clearance at the Pentagon. They didn't deny my clearance. They held it up because I asked too many questions of my government. And my response was, that is my job. As an American taxpayer, it's my job to question my government whenever I feel it fit. And I do. And I make a lot of enemies. And I'm referred to as that SOB from Minnesota. I have quite a reputation in the Pentagon for being able to dig up information when no one else can. What's going on in Area 51 today, based on information from first-person interviews I've made over the last 6 or 7 years, there are at least 8 black programs flying out of Groom Lake, out of Area 51. That does not count the B-2 bomber because it's not a black program. It does not count the F-117, which is virtually a white program today. There are at least 2 very, very high-speed aircraft that have been reported since 1982 is when we heard the first reports of them. One of them is a small aircraft. It goes approximately Mach 4 to Mach 6. There's an aircraft that has been tracked out of the Bay Area TRACON in Oakland, California by the Federal Aviation Administration Center at least 8 times since 1986, flying in excess of 10,000 miles an hour going through controlled airspace. And a very, very large aircraft at that. Besides the 2 high-speed aircraft, there is a stealth or low-observable electronic warfare aircraft. It's been referred to as Excalibur. There is an aircraft that is designed to fly very, very high, very, very slow, and very, very quiet. There's been some rumblings or reports as a flying triangle, much like the canceled McDonnell Douglas General Dynamics A-12 that was the attack aircraft. Just recently, out of Lancaster, California, taken off from Palmdale, which is Air Force Plant 42, and that's where the B-1 was built. The B-2 bomber is being built there. The F-117 is being serviced there. The U-2 operations. There has been at least 3 sightings of triangular-shaped aircraft being launched out of that area. They made no noise. People just happened to look up and see these things leaving the area at relatively low altitude. But again, no noise.
Are there any unconventional technologies, propulsion technologies involved?
Yes, I have had the opportunity over the years to interview, again, people who have worked at the test site at Groom Lake. One gentleman spent 12 of his 30 years in black programs at Groom Lake. When I asked him, I said, first of all, I said, do you believe in UFOs? And he looked at me with a straight face, and one-on-one, he said, absolutely, positively, they do exist. I said, can you expand upon that? And he said, no, I can't. About a year later, we were talking about, again, activities in Groom Lake, and I asked him, I said, you know, can you really tell me what's happening out there? And he said, well, there's a lot of things that are going on there that I won't be able to tell you until the year 2025. But we have things in the Nevada desert that would make George Lucas envious. Another individual who was an NCO, an E9, which is the highest grade you get as an enlisted man. He's a Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force. Was a safety specialist. He had 3 different tours of duty at Groom Lake on various programs. I had no connection with my friend who worked on the other black programs. We were talking, I interviewed him in Dallas in 1985, 86 timeframe. And I said, what's out there? And again, he looked me straight in the eye and he said, we have things out there that are literally out of this world. I said, explain. He said, I can't. But trust me, he said, we have things that are better than Star Trek, better than anything you can